This is Godzilla's version of a grabat. You can take the machete, boop, and do that. Very, very, very fine work that way. Left foot back, and then that way you have more of a counter through. Just make sure your dogs are, not coming up to you or anything like that, because you don't want to hurt your dog, of course, too.
What's up, Internet? Kern 1776 here. I'm at Georgia Bushcraft Fall Gathering, and I got the Machete Master, my good friend right here, Joe Flowers. And if you're not following this guy, please God, if you take anything away from this video, you have got to follow Joe Flowers. He is the most genuine, one of the coolest freaking friends I have, and I absolutely love to hear him talk about freaking blades. And I've got the Mission 105 El Salvador Machete here, which this guy obviously knows a lot about. So,
well, I tell you, I've met a lot of people and kids better with machetes than I am, but I am kind of a nut for machetes.
Yeah. My understanding is like in America, everybody carries pocket knives.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Down there in South America, this is a tool that does almost anything and
First
everything.
thing when they wake up in the morning, they're not checking their phone for Instagram, they're grabbing their machete and fixing thatching on their roofs, depending on where you're at. And it's a tool, it's an agricultural tool.
Right.
That like John Deeres are expensive, right? Or these areas where people can't afford John Deeres, they're using a machete. So when people are using these machetes, and sometimes they're always holding this like crazy death grip, can you make the OK sign with your, they call this sometimes the OK grip or the pinch grip. That little flick will cut stuff all day long as we make sure we keep his knees intact. This is really important. Most common cut is on the opposite leg, so when people are cutting stuff this way, watch your leg like that, but don't use a machete so much. Just give that little flick at the end and you'll be good to go, no problem. And that's what you would use with the El Salvador machete. That's in number 105, I believe, right?
Yep.
Battlbox 105. So we have a campsite over here. Let me have you back up a little bit. And sometimes there might be briars on the ground, so you can use a stick like this. We want to be careful of my fingers, of course, and use that to bend stuff over as a helper stick to help clear out an area of your campsite. And the other thing that you can do too is sometimes people are holding it this way. You can take the machete, boop, and do that and hold it watching your opposite leg and be able to clear a campsite just like that as well. And with the loose grip too, not too hard. You want to let your wrist flick, and that works really, really well. Now machetes have a low rockwell. They're made to be used around the ground where you might have like rocks or something.
Right.
And it's around about a 56 rockwell. So if you hit a rock, it doesn't chunk out and have like a half moon shaped thing on that. And you want that. If you have a really, really hardened machete and you hit a rock, it's going to explode everywhere. Right. So you're able to use a file, go from spine to edge with the file to keep the edge intact. If you do hit a little ding, it's going to be small because of the rockwell. Okay. And rocks are everywhere, no matter where you're at. You can go on the moon and use a machete, and you might have rock problems. Right. So you want to be careful of that. But this trick here helps clear out a lot of stuff. And then, if you want to, this is going to be the biggest, Internet, this is going to be the biggest grabat hook I've made in a while. You can also hold it like this to do a little pinch grip to get finer cuts that way. So this is quick and improvised. This is Godzilla's version of a grabat. But you guys can see how this hook works right here. You can use that to move briars around if you have very, very harsh briars. I've had a guy who I taught here at Georgia Bushcraft one time how to do this, and he sent me a picture next week of a copperhead right at the bottom of a bush he was about to cut, and he was using this grabat gaucho hook. Basically, it's just a hook that you can use. I know this one looks kind of wonky, but that you can use to move material out of the way to help process stuff and clear things out without keeping your hand, because these things are important. Right. In the area. So that's a really cool safety feature. Yeah. Always watching the most common cuts, which are on the opposite leg. You change that. You can do left foot back, and then that way you have more of a counter through. Do you have dogs at home? Yeah. Watch your dogs, because when they see you swinging one of these, they get all excited and they want to play. So just make sure your dogs are not coming up to you or anything like that, because you don't want to hurt your dog, of course, too. And
Another thing I like about this is they got plenty of 90-degree spines here, so you can use this for striking ferro rods.
Absolutely.
All sorts of things.
Interestingly enough, you can see how the blade's not all the way at the end here.
Right.
They, some of my tribesmen who I work with, not my tribesmen, but people who I work with consider this a very dangerous machete because the edge is all the way down. So they only sharpen, this whole side here. This is important because they use that for a small pinch grip to do fine work,
Right.
Such as making carvings and things like that, where you're able to anchor it and do very, very, very fine work that way. If you have the edge all the way up to here, you can't do that chef's pinch grip, or you can't grip up on it, but you're still able to get beautiful fine carvings just like that too, easily, because you're able to take this tool and manipulate it that way. If you think about how a machete is shaped, this is a shape that you'll see, and it's been around forever, but this is what's really, really indicative of a Central and South American machete. It's an 18-inch long 1075 high carbon steel, full lifetime warranty machete, full grain leather sheath with a huge welt on it. I mean, this is like half a cow's worth of leather. So it's beautiful, and multiple dangling stuff, but this is one of the most ubiquitous tools out there. We don't see it in America so much because it kind of gets a bad rap because people think they're weapons. Beautiful walnut handle, lifetime warranty. Any problems, you just let Condor know. And there's some other really cool things in the Battlbox 105 that can work with this.
The fire flute.
Yes.
Yep. You literally take people into the jungle and teach them jungle skills, and with actual people that live in the environment.
And
so it's not just an instructor taking you out and showing you stuff. You actually have people that literally live there.
Yeah, they're the real instructor. They're the real instructors down there. I mean, they live this because it's their life. They know how to make baskets because they're foraging all the time. They know how to make clay pottery because that's their Monday.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing. We work with about 6 different tribes down there where you learn how to do a bunch of different outdoor skills, everything from bushcraft to campcraft to even hammock stuff. You get like a crazy black belt in hammock use afterwards. And we do a lot of fishing, and it's a vacation. It honestly is. It is training, but it's kind of immersion training where you learn all the knots and all that because you're there. So it's a really, really fun time. But the tribes who we work with, we know one of them was first contact in the 1980s, late 1970s.
Wow.
They really know their stuff.
Yeah.
And when you learn from them, you get a more appreciation of what your hands can do, what your tools can do, and it makes you more comfortable outside. And that's kind of what bushcraft is about. Using the world around you to make you more comfortable outside. And it's great.
One of the coolest things I recall seeing in some of your footage was the guys were hunting with blowguns.
Oh, yeah.
They made.
Oh, man.
Look, like, legit, holy crap. Like, I would love to put them on a chronograph to see just how fast those freaking made out in the woods freaking blowguns could do.
One of the Yukunas had a pack of cigarettes, and the other one, they took the poison off the darts before they shot it. But one of them would hold it up just like this, and he didn't care. He knew how good his buddy was, and he put like 3, his grouping was like smaller than like a pinhead, like right on this pack of cigarettes the guy held on his hand. And then when they're running, they have these 12-foot blowguns, right? They throw it up in the air on one, so they're going around. You're a tree. Imagine you're a tree, and they have a blowgun. They throw it up in the air, catch it on the other side to keep moving when they're going after the animals that are up in the trees and stuff. So
crazy,
amazing
cool
stuff.
So that's the El Salvador Condor Machete.
You can find out more about that on condortk.com, but more importantly, where do we sign up for this box?
Battlbox.com. No E because we don't know how to spell. So BATTLBOX. And Joe Flowers, look him up. He's on all the social media platforms.
Bushcraft Global.
Bushcraft
If you guys want to go down to the Amazon jungle, I know a guy.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go bother some people with the cameras.
Oh, perfect.
All right, cool.